What's up, fam? I'm your guy, KNTX. I'm here tonight for another FN Hangout. Here to be your guide, be your host of the story that is yours, that you are the hero of. We are so happy to have you guys here today. Thank you so much for being part of this beautiful community. Love all you guys. See you guys filing in. Let me just say hey to a couple people here. Hextech 16, Mel Tony, Vexican, OX Will, MT Coiner, Thothschild, D Hexistentialist, Staked Wealth, Johnny No Good, Hex Boy, Dorsey, Completion Fails. It's good to see you guys, Hex Boy. It's been a while, man. So good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in, joining us, guys. Here, the captain literally was just trying to call me just now. I'm like, dude, I'm about to start your show. So he is off doing some really cool things right now. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, so I'm going to just hold off. Navin Gautam, that is awesome, man, of you to say. I don't know if I deserve it, but I do appreciate you. And thank you for saying the nice things that you do. Infinity H, thanks for coming in here, guys. I do want to play this real quick here. I don't think I played enough, and I don't think we played enough on our channel, but we want to encourage everybody else to check this out. So happy to have you guys here. Thank you so much. So I'm hoping that as many people as possible can make it to PulseCon. It'd be nice if Pulse was out and launched by the time the convention happens. But hey, you know, it will be what it will be when it will be it. So this is the last time I am streaming from this location. You will probably not see much of the green screen behind me after tonight. You guys will get a sneak peek, so to speak, of the one of the many new sets in my studio that I created. It took a long time. We had a lot of debris and sawdust and a lot of drywall dust floating around. So really excited to be in the new space, guys. It's been a long time coming. It's something we wanted to do for a while now. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up Hextech because this guy has been here very consistently lately, and we really appreciate the guy. He's an amazing guy. He's got a really cool experience with MCA that I still can't say enough for all the nice things he says about us. So my team is amazing, and fortunately Hextech has had the opportunity to work with him so he can verify that and not just have to hear it from me myself. But it is good to see all of you guys. Hey, thanks so much for showing up, Hextech.
Hey, glad to be here.
Got Scoop. I like that shirt.
Yeah, I love this shirt. It's kind of funny.
It's not as good as got t-shirts. You got them?
Bro, I have so many shirts over here that I just wanted the Got Soup one just because, just stupid comment shirts. I love them. I got the one that I can't wait to get in the mail, which is called CEO of Unemployed.
Oh, I like that.
Of being unemployed, CEO of being unemployed. But you mentioned MCA, so right off the bat. So I have to say, I just got my my message here, literally hour and 15 minutes ago for my meetup time with our friend, and so do my initial interview thing. It's so funny. It's like, blah blah blah. This fee is non-refundable. I'm like, bro, just take my money. No, seriously. I mean, it's going to be a great advantage for me personally, and everybody's got to gauge their own situations, where you're at in crypto and stuff like that, and financially and in life. But just for me to be able to get on with the team and not have to worry about that aspect, that financial aspect of having my money managed. I'm grateful for it, but that's me personally. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, everybody,
and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
it's not for everybody.
That's the beauty of not just our community, but the beauty of free choice and freedom is that it's not for you. It's all good.
Yeah,
So,
it's fine. You know, and everybody makes their own decisions. If there's something that I'm passionate about, I talk about it, right? I mean, because that's, you know, whether it's Hex, crypto in general, just that's what I speak about. But I mean, you know, everybody has to take those own evaluations. I don't discount the fact that like people can be passionate about other things, and that's okay. My biggest thing is allowing those people to be passionate about those things or doing what they do.
I love it.
Don't restrict freedom.
Different strokes for different folks. That's what makes the world go round. So
yeah,
I like that. Hey, thanks Rackham for showing up, man. It's good to see you, brother. It was concerning when a few people kept reaching out to me on Twitter saying, Rackham's gone. What does this mean? I'm like, I have no idea. That's totally up to that gentleman. But I see he's back and he's been engaging people and in Twitter. And so it's good to see him back. So
yeah. And hey, Rackham, shout out. I mean, listen, you know, just because you get a few Twitter trolls, you know, don't ever let that discourage you in life.
Again, different strokes for different folks. So it's all good. So Sandy Beach, it's good to see you here. So Roof Dog, Crash City, Jen Hex, I put a link in there for you. Hex Luther. We do have another person joining us right now. So let me go ahead and bring them up. It's our boy Joker. What's up, man?
Hello there.
What? The Joker's in the house. Wait a minute. I was just gonna go split my screen, but I gotta see this.
Welcome.
Oh, look at this guy.
Right. Welcome to the Joker. What's going on, everyone?
Jeez.
How's everything going in the Discourse Syndicate world?
Busy, man. It's busy. I don't get a lot of screen time anymore because I'm so busy behind the scenes trying to do paperwork and making sure that we're following up with our new business endeavors and just making sure one step every day. You know, it's 0 day or what is it? Oh gosh, I'm forgetting what the term is. I first heard it from Kevin David, who is an online entrepreneur. He said no 0 days. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to. Yep. It doesn't matter if you're trying to get in shape or if you're trying to get something accomplished. Make sure you at least do one thing a day. So at least you can say, hey, I did something today. Right. One push-up, one piece of paper, one contact you reach out to, one sales contact. So always keeping that pipeline full. So I've taken that to heart, and I've gone pretty hard at this. So and I can't wait for. I think by the time all the things that we're doing right now start to pop off, it's really going to be about the time the bear market turns around, and it's all going to coincide nicely. I can't wait, guys. I'm excited.
Can't wait either, man. And I have to vibe with that. You got to do at least one of those things that you set out to do, right? Like you said, like one push-up, one piece of paper. And, you know, it's good to be consistent with it. You know, consistency is absolutely key.
Yeah.
And I've seen you guys been killing it, man. Like, you know, with the business side of things, I'm like, damn, you guys are really like making like strides and stuff. So it's awesome to see.
Yeah, it's not been easy, but it is. It's funny because as a Christ follower, I put it in the hands of God, and I honestly, there's just no way the things that have come together could have been from our coordination to make things fit together so perfectly. Like it's of God. There's the timing when we thought we needed to rush to do something and something got in the way when we weren't able to do it. Well, it wasn't the right time. And then finally, when we were ready, all of a sudden the right door opens at the right time. So I think this is ordained by a higher power to happen, guys. So I'm really excited about these things that we're doing right now. And we've got a conference next week with Ken McElroy, who is Robert Kiyosaki's real estate guy. So we will be in Scottsdale next week. So
what's the name of the conference?
It's called the Limitless Expo.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm really, really excited about heading down there. We actually have a booth. We use the same booth designer that designed Ken McElroy's booth, and he put us right there in the center cluster with Ken. So we had some really great conversations the other week when I got to meet not just Ken McElroy and Jason Hartman and George Gammon, but Robert Kiyosaki was there. In fact, I have a clip, and I'll play it for you guys eventually. You'll probably see it after my first interview on our new channel, which happens Monday with a very, very well-known person. I will show you the clip of how I got in trouble at that conference. So
You got in trouble? What happened?
I did. Now I'll explain it all to you guys later. But it's one of those things that it was really silly. It was really stupid, and it wasn't that I was really doing anything wrong. It wasn't that I needed to be removed or anything. But it made the event so memorable that Robert Kiyosaki remembered or agreed to talk with me personally. So you'll get to see that here after we get approval from their or his production or his producer, and they give us the okay to post it. So
you're always in some like crazy things, man. It's always like some grand big thing, and then it's like I can't talk about it. But then when you do, it's just like, God damn, bro!
I know,
it's crazy with it.
Yeah, I got to hang out with Rollo Tomasi. I'm excited about some of the things he's doing. It's not my place to tell what he's doing, but we're let's just say, what is it? It's muscles, money, frame, and game. And so that's the big things are game and holding frame are his big mottos. And crypto's been a big part of that as of lately for what he talks about. So really excited to see him do more crypto content and bring on people in the crypto community to discuss those things on some of these bigger channels. So
that's cool.
Yes, he is breaking into NFTs. He's got what's called the Red Pill Lions project coming out. And I was discussing this with him. And he's really interested in this next iteration, releasing it on Pulse, and him being a lot more involved in the artwork on the next level, the next turnout. So I'm really excited, really super excited. He didn't downplay Hex the other day on live. He's very cautious right now. I mean, we're 10x below the all-time high right now. And so I think a lot of these guys are just really, really cautious with any crypto they're going to talk about. So the fact that he's talking about it at all is actually a good thing. So
now's the time to buy, bro.
It's actually the best time. I was going to say.
Come on. Yep. Nobody should be scared right now. It should be just.
Is anyone going to hate me if I tell them that I sold the all-time top of Pulse Doge and bought Hex with it? Is anyone going to hate me for that?
No. Because you know what? Nobody should hate an individual for taking, this is a personal burner for me. Yeah. Hour and 45 minutes ago, I read one tweet, and I never let things get to me, but this one kind of got in my craw. I had to take a hot shower just to kind of get over it type thing. But it was an OG one Hexican, right? Just trash talking other OGs because of the fact that if they sold or took profit type thing. And, in my new channel thing and the thing that I'm doing, I'm like, it's never wrong to take a profit. Okay. But don't do it out of desperation, do it in the green tree, not in the brown tree type thing. You're not affecting the price, things are pushing up, but I should never be an individual that goes and tries to personalize on a social media space how KNTX, how the Joker, how RG3, how Rackham, or anybody else spends their money. You know what? I should be glad for them. If they're doing well, they're doing well. And if I'm not doing well, I mean, in my come up days, I never disparaged, or I always thought to myself, I aspired to be I want to be that way. I'm not very materialistic, but to have that financial security or to be able to do things, I look at that as a positive, not a negative. I don't understand why. And I attribute it to what I call, and Joker probably knows a little bit about narcissism type thing, narcissistic personalities. So they look to blame other people.
Joker's narcissistic?
No, I'm saying that Joker understands a little psychology.
He's a psychology
professional. Am I not right? I do my studies and my history. Okay.
Yeah.
But, it's true. I mean, like, people want to project blame on other people for their negative, aspects or externalities, should we say, for not doing things. Trust me, I made very big mistakes in the 2017 run up, that I could have done better. And I've learned from them and I've noted them. And so when that opportunity came around back in August, I mean, I'll be the first one to say, hey, I took a little profit, go ahead and hate me on Twitter or whatever. But
I've taken profits. I've taken more out of the system than I put in, and I'm unashamed for it. Like, honestly, like, if you don't take profits, you don't realize any gains. Sorry, guys. So,
but you want to realize something
for that.
Yeah. But check this out. And I did the math on this. I want to say 80%, but it's actually like 76.4. I actually put 76.4% back in the past 2 months. Yeah, I actually do count, but back into the system, back into Hex, or derivative products thereof, Maxi.
Yep.
I mean, I'll be straightforward. So, because now is the time to buy. If you're selling in the brown tree right now, well, you're a wrecked pleb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Can you imagine selling at 3 cents, 4 cents? Like, that would just be such a catastrophic thing to do.
Yeah.
Why would anyone do that?
And this is one thing I learned from the Bitcoin price back then. Okay. We had two possible, places to look at. One was the COVID thing, but before that was November, December, where it went down like $3,800, $3,500 for Bitcoin type thing. I will tell this to anybody who's new right now. If you don't think it can go lower, you're wrong. It can go lower.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, and it's good to have, and I have my, thank you, Johnny Chaos. Actually, he helped educate me along the way type things about, buy limits and stuff. But I mean, put those ridiculous buy limits in, even if you only have a couple $100.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be grateful. I'm working on this thing. I don't want to take up all the time here, but I'm working on this thing.
I'm just waiting to bring someone else up.
Okay,
so
bring this guy, because he's a rascal and he's a scoundrel, and God, I don't even like this guy.
And all the above, and Hextech was trying to appeal to my good senses and not let Mr. Craig Wadding up here.
God,
what's up, guys?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Next thing, Trolley's gonna be, or
toxic Trolley.
What's Wenzel or whatever?
Serwin Delange.
Yeah, Serwin Delange is gonna come in. We're gonna have to beat down these Twitter trolls.
Thanks, man. I was in the green room. There's like fucking clown makeup everywhere there, man. I was cleaning. Wiping shit down. I don't know what happened.
I was smearing my face all over the walls.
What's up?
Yeah, if it was on your face, I'd be worried there, Craig.
Good to see you.
Why are you rubbing your face up against the wall?
Craig was one of the few plebs that let me on his show, so.
No, he's a regular. Get his own
parking
spot.
I show up like mushrooms after a bad
it's
rain.
The senior citizens parking spot, but it's for him too.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll take it.
Senior citizens.
I love it, guys. I love it.
I know I'm the oldest dude in here, but you know what, bro? We're getting.
I don't know. I might be older, man. You never know.
I'll give
I definitely think
a flex out for Jim Rat Crypto.
I'm not flexing. I tried that one time, man, and I couldn't move my shoulder for 2 days.
Guys,
I did. You guys were talking about getting something done. I did it. I did a push up today. I just want y'all to know.
Awesome.
Nice.
Now do 2.
No 0 days.
It was because I tripped and I fell, and I had to do at least one to get off the floor. But
you're grabbing your.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Kyler, I dare you. I dare you. See what I do.
Kyler,
see what I do, bro.
Kyler, just get up on the stream. All right, Kyler.
The cab main here, I can't pick on him for being older than me, like last week or whenever that was when I got timed out. It's bad when you're a mod and you get timed out.
So am I the only one that's seeing the influx of these Pulse projects with sacrifice phases coming out, and they're feeling kind of scammy?
Yeah, but
There's a lot of
they'll
them.
go away. I mean,
I outed 2 in the last week because they were literally preying on Hexicans.
Did one of them start with a G?
No, it started with a V.
Oh, okay. There was one a few weeks ago started with a G, and it looked super suspicious when they had some pretty big sacrifices right out of the gate from like the same address or something.
I mean,
Or
key
they were,
indicators
sacrificing
to me,
back in their own thing.
But what I'm finding is a lot of them have like these fake like Discord servers that have like a ton of people that they're not real people, or like a bot Twitter account or something like that. Like it's kind of obvious, but they're all kind of like following those same paths. So like and the people who support them, they made like accounts in the same day. I'm just like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks
Well,
sus.
So Richard's brilliant. He created a fundraising mechanism that is very next generation 2017 ICO craze. And I was just waiting to see people abuse it. Even some of the legit projects that are supposed to launch on Pulse, I still thought it was pretty shady for them to come out and use the same mechanism that Richard did. And so Pulse and Pulsex are the only 2 that I sacrificed for. No hate or shade on anyone else out there. Sorry guys, you're not Richard. You don't have a track record of putting something out. So I'm just waiting. So
I think we're at a point right now too where all this anticipation and the 2 more weeks stuff, people are trigger happy. Like they're anxious to see Pulse launch and all the stuff that's going to come with that. And instead of keeping your eyes on the prize and pack and and filling your bags for the double, and buying something on sale that you wish you had more of. If you'd asked people 3 or 4 months ago, hey man, if Hex dipped down to 6 cents for like one day, would you buy some? They'd be like, fuck yeah, I'd buy some. I'd buy as much as I could. Well, here we are, and people are just crying.
Well, because
it's like if you're staked, who cares what the price is? I mean, eventually you're going to care, but for right now, with all the stuff going on, waiting on Pulse and all the the bear market and the economy and interest rates and all this crap going on, watch your yield numbers go up. Be happy with what you got, and if you can get more before the double, get more, or get more liquid so you can swap to get more PLSX if that's what you're wanting to do. It's like we're actually positioned really, really good right now. So all the FUD and all the complaining about the price and stuff is the people that are trying to dump on us anyway. They want it to pump before PLS because they're holding liquid and they want to cash out. Maybe because they bought in,
I got another person I got to bring up. This is my boy from way, way back. One of the first people that ever showed their face on Discourse Syndicate. So I gotta pay some respect and let this man up here before I bring him back down again. So it was fun. So
hello and goodbye.
Yeah, this is my boy right here. Liberty.
Did somebody say bye? Did somebody say bye? I'm all about buying. I'm buying right now. Bye. Everything's on sale again.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, people are like crying about things. This is the thing I was kind of working on is the Hex calculator. Okay, so, and it's kind of serendipitous in a way so I ordered a hat from this company. They do a 4-leaf clover thing. It's like Lucky has. They have a whole shirt brand type thing. It was $34 for the hat. So I wanted to do this calculator thing. So I punched in the Hex price of what I paid, for the hat, which cost me $34 in USD or US dollars, right? And then I calculated how many Hex I would have gotten in Hex at $100 price. So this basically is like a $6,000 ball cap in the future. But I really want to put that out there for people on my channel that I'm doing with the Prosperity Project, because I want people to understand, the price you see today is not the price you're going to see, in 4 or 5 years. I'm like, when somebody makes a statement that's got a proven track record, and I love this statement, somebody reposted it, so I posted it back to my Twitter account, was like 10-cent hex. Like, what's 10-cent hex when it's gonna be 100? So $100 hex, you do the multiplier, it's a $6,000 ball cap. And people really need to look at that and understand it, especially this market. Like, do you think this is going to last? No. Are we in a down cycle? Absolutely yes. Is it the best time to buy? Absolutely yes. Does your gut feeling tell you to avoid the fear? No, it does not. It tells you to be fearful. What's the best investing advice that you've ever seen from people, not me, but people who have honestly done this for 50 years? Well, let's go to Warren Buffett. I mean,
time in the market, not timing the market.
Yeah.
But right now is a hell of a good time. I'm gonna
or
say
be greedy when people are fearful, and be fearful when people are greedy.
I think those are copyrighted. Both of
right,
those.
Yeah, copyright. Copyright my ass.
Disney Star Wars. So didn't Yoda say that?
He gave him credit for the people that said it. So that's
I
all good.
Certainly did.
What other things can we come up with? All I know is it feels like 0.003 again. And I don't know how many stakers we had back then, but I know it wasn't 95,000 or whatever we got now.
Right.
So I just remember, 0.003, if you guys remember that. We were just buying it. We were talking Randy Hilarski. I think his name is Randy Hilarski. We were talking about buying on stream. We're like, it's 0.003. And a bunch of us came in. Mm-hmm. It kind of feels like that again.
Yeah.
I do have a question pertaining to the economy, if you guys want to dive into that. So
I'd be interested,
So obviously the economy is, at least this month, it seems like it's going to take quite the hit. And, energy costs, at least around me, are going up about 30%. Gasoline prices overnight, 20 cents, 30 cents increase. We're projected to go up to $7 by mid of next month. So I'm wondering, as the economy is continuously inflating and more people are looking towards food equity, an example, right? Because food is going to be a big problem if we don't control this. How's that going to impact crypto?
Well, I think you're going to see crypto is not as uncorrelated as everyone would like to see. And unfortunately, Hex is not as uncorrelated with Bitcoin as we'd like it to be. But and we've seen that as Bitcoin's gone down, so have all cryptos, including Hex. So I think you're going to see, as times get harder, people are going to sell and price will go down because they will more than likely need access to some liquidity for things like gas and food and different essentials that they need for living and providing for their families. So it's possible we could see a lot lower X than this. If we're correlating it with the market and what the market's doing, it's absolutely possible we can see it lower than this.
Well, people will sell, but there's people with money that haven't even gotten into the game yet. They're fleeing stocks. They want nothing to do with fixed income, right? I don't know if this is the place where money's going to be treated best, but I don't know. I'm not doing Bitcoin, but I can look into something with a little better game theory and play that game. There's a lot of people with big bags that aren't even. We only have 95,000 stakers. That's not that many people. So
right,
Oh, and you guys may or may not have noticed the background to the stream right now, but there's going to be mechanisms built in legacy finance that buy up and lock up all the Hex supply. So we're working on them right now, and it's just one of many. We've got a private placement option too for an annuity product that we're doing as a private placement, and that's going to be specific. That's going to be only available for MCA customers, so we're keeping that very, very private. So we haven't even discussed stuff of that nature. So there's a lot of ways to lock this. Yeah, well, it's not that I can't talk about it. If you're not an MCA client, you don't get to take advantage of some of these other things that we're creating for MCA clients.
The point?
And Joker, if we tell the story starting today, we tell the story enough, it becomes true, right? So you tell people, same thing that Wales used to say, right? Capital goes to where it's treated best. We start repeating that, and people start feeling the hurt of the capital markets. Get that message out. We might see more people throwing throwaway money at things like Hex, which could either stabilize or even help us pump.
So I'm thinking a big brain kind of like move during this time is to absolutely be a staker. Because if the case is where it negatively will impact Hex, my thought is people think of emergency end staking as, oh man, I need to get out of this because I need to feed my family, right? Or whatever. Now, if you could hold on to your stakes and not be that person in emergency end stake, then we already know what those penalties do, right? They pay us. So that could be a real good move to go ahead and stake your Hex to collect that. Unfortunate for the people that have to emergency end stake, but if the market does what it does and people feel like they need to get out of Hex for, again, for food or gas, then it might benefit you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you got any kind of dry powder, like Mad Mike Bradley here said, I got this, don't worry. He's going to go buy it all up. So
I told Randy, I'm like, don't worry, I got your dip.
Got your dip right here.
I'm waiting for Gwei to drop a little bit tonight so I can grab some more.
Ooh, but completion fails. If you look at what Axis Alive has brought up in some of his content material, late 2014 to mid 2024 through mid 2025. I think $100 Hex is already in the cards at that point. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Anything can happen, but I'm excited for the future, guys.
Oh yeah, me too. And that's the thing is like, and I really feel bad if people like, especially like August, September last year, just over leveraged themselves and got in a heavy way because it hurts. It sucks right now. I mean, there's no denying that, but I mean, this is where, I tell a certain number of people, I'm like, this is where millionaires are made. I mean, if you can just weather the storm and understand the markets, like right now, what you're putting into Hex will pay off, Lord willing, the creek don't rise, but huge. I mean, just, you have to give time. But people are unwilling to do this because, like I think you mentioned, was the fact that people over-sacrificed. They saw this project that Richard was putting out with PulseChain, with Pulsex and stuff, and they really honestly anticipated like this would have happened like 3 months ago. But software is hard, people. And I'm not a software engineer. But I got that from the first iteration when we waited for Hex for 14 months. I mean, I always tell people, I'm like, yeah, it was like 10 to 14 months for, the Hex launch. I'm like, it is what it is. Go ahead.
In terms of code, I don't think people understand how important good code really is. If you sacrificed a considerable amount of money into PulseChain, and you want this to come out so fast, then obviously, you're not thinking this through, right? If you're pressing Richard and saying, listen, get it out, it's not going to be completed, right? And I don't know if you guys know about this one video game. I'm going to go and reference a video game kind of in comparison. It was called Cyberpunk 2032 or whatever. I forget the year that it's there, but everybody was pushing for that to come out so bad because it was like it was a sequel to like the previous Cyberpunk series, right? And then they rushed the launch of Cyberpunk, and it broke. It was completely broken and unplayable. And what happened? Sure, some people still remained and played. They had to refund people. I mean, it just wrecked the whole entire project. If PulseChain gets rushed, then the similar thing could happen, or even worse, there could be an exploit or a bug or something that happens where a hacker can come in and take all your money, right? So this is a lot bigger than a video game, but the concept is similar. It could get wrecked.
Oh,
if it's
100%.
not done correctly.
It's better to come out correct and to come out, free of any bugs instead of just hoping no one finds the bugs. Because let's look at that Axie Infinity. The Ronin bridge got hacked. $600 million missing. That was in April. I think it was late April, and their bridge is still down. You can't play Axie Infinities by buying a new Axie, I guess, and getting it bridged over to the game right now.
Right.
So that's a good example of game and code for crypto. So yeah, I think having this come out the right way is way, way, way more important than just rushing it because a bunch of people are waiting to dump because they need the money because they over-invested or they over-sacrificed and now they're hurting.
well, think of it this way, right? So say you rush this whole thing and then say PulseChain doesn't do well because there's a hack or a bug or something that happened, right? That's not just going to impact the PulseChain and the PLSX price. It's going to affect Hex too. That FUD's going to travel through all of Richard Hart products.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So don't think you're safe. Oh, well, we're going to rush PulseChain. If it doesn't do well, at least I got Hex. Well, everything's going to fucking dump.
Yep.
So
100%.
I mean, just things we got to consider,
I don't
think
he's going to rush it.
I don't think so. I
It's
know
for pride. He's doing it for
Richard's
pride, right? It's all about
Richard's
pride.
It's
kinda-
legacy.
Richard tells everybody every day that he called the top on Bitcoin, right? He likes to win. He likes to win. He likes to talk about how he's won. If PulseChain isn't 100%, he's not going to take the chance in releasing it just to make us shut up, and then have to risk all the negativity if it fails, right? So I mean, if you know anything about Richard, he's not going to let that thing come out until he puts a stamp of approval on it.
He did the same thing with Hex until it was completed.
Yep.
And even though it was ready to go, until they got the okay and the sign off from the auditors, they didn't. So.
And he doesn't listen to us, so it's not like us saying get it out.
I had a personal phone call
I'm
with
sure
him.
it pisses him off, though.
I had a personal phone call with him this week, and he just pretty much said, "Fuck those guys," and I'm like, "All right."
Look who's name dropping. Connecticut
like
name
that.
dropping.
I like that tweet he had. I think it was earlier today, where he said, "Everybody everywhere posts pictures of them having fun when they're traveling and on vacation, but when he does it, oh my God, he's a bad guy or something."
I don't even play around on Telegram anymore. It's just it to me. It's like a bunch of kids throwing sand at each other in the sandbox. Is what it looks like nowadays, man.
You talking about Telegram or Twitter?
Twitter. Sorry, not Telegram.
If it wasn't for like just the Hex community stuff, I wouldn't be on Twitter either, man. It's so toxic.
I was never on Twitter before the Hex community. I got it. I started my Twitter account right at the beginning of Hex launch, and everything was smooth sailing for the first 2 years, and then all you fucking kids just came out of the woodwork and started throwing tantrums, and I'm like, man, this is hard to watch, man. This is hard to watch.
It's that you mad bro generation.
Yeah, you mad bro.
That was the anger.
Hey,
phase,
real quick, Joker. We got to give props to the man that started this all, that made the FN Hangout possible. Thank you so much, Captain RG3, for showing up, my friend.
Yeah, guys, can you even hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
we hear you great.
Oh, cool. Shit, I can't believe it's working.
Just waiting for the maids to come and try to turn his bed down again while he's on stream.
They already did it. I didn't get the turn down service. They just left the chocolates and the extra waters and stuff for me.
Senior RG.
Was that X-Lax?
Fluff your pillows.
Housekeeping.
Oh no! Now everybody knows you're traveling, RG. So you're gonna get all kinds of hate and shade.
Oh,
RG selling down the price so he can travel.
You're not a supermodel, RG.
You're a
oh,
diva.
jeez. I'm spending money for the Hex community out here.
Yeah.
Burning the midnight oil, freaking having meetings with politicians and PAC people and Yeah, it's a different world out here in DC. But
Mhm.
I'll tell you one thing, it's freaking beautiful, man. I can't believe how much this place has cleaned up since the 80s. Last time I was here was in the 80s, but this place is beautiful. But if you guys haven't been to Washington, D.C., I mean, my God, they've really cleaned this place up. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it doesn't look like San Francisco, right?
No, it doesn't look like, the cesspools of all the different places that are out there. But, our nation's capital is beautiful. And learning a little bit about the people that have our fate in their hands is interesting too, because this place does function like I thought it does. It revolves around money. It revolves around fundraising. It revolves around elections and election times. And there's a big sense of urgency right now, guys, with what's going on out here.
I just find it so ironic that people you wouldn't dare hire for your company because you know they drive into the ground are the people we're hiring to run our country. Like it's crazy to me. It is crazy.
I hate to say it. Have you guys seen that YouTube video from a couple years ago with the congressman talking about Guam, the island of Guam? They're talking about sending refugees to Guam, and he was asking if it could tip over.
Island would tip. That's actually like 10 years
Yeah.
old, I think.
Yeah.
I think if we took 300,000 soldiers or 30,000 soldiers, would the island like tip over? It's like, are you kidding me, bro?
That is the funniest thing. And it's an elected
many...
official, and it's like, it's not a boat, man. It's an island.
But it's just as dumb as like the congressman saying, how many of these virtual coins can I fit in my wallet?
That's
in a bag this big.
Here's what he asked.
And that's the guy that's going to make a committee for cryptocurrencies.
That was the committee. That was the freaking committee.
So here's his question. He says, so say I have a duffel bag on the floor. How many of these digital coins could I fit in there?
All of them. You could fit all of them in there.
Literally every single one of them.
Yeah.
So, Captain, you look quiet. I mean, you look like you went through some sort of initiation into the Illuminati or something. I mean, you don't seem like yourself. Maybe they replaced you. Are you?
He's a lizard.
I may be a lizard person now. Yeah. I'm really stunned. I really am. I knew that it was bad. I didn't know how bad. But it's bad, guys. It's bad. And the action that needs to be taken right now because of what's going on, because of the midterms coming up, because of what's happened in crypto recently with the recent rug pull or scam or whatever you guys might want to call it.
It was a straight up scam. It was an inside job.
It was an inside scam. And now because of that, there's a magnifying glass on crypto within legislation, within the legislators, and everybody's looking how to look. They're going up for election. They're trying to position themselves with these things, and blockchain is hot. Crypto's hot, and if this could create a situation where crypto could be endangered. It could. If the wrong people get the wrong ideas and start pushing narrative. I found out something very interesting today. I'm not going to name. I want to be real careful about names and all this stuff now because of what's about to start happening. But one of the major financial institutions, banks, was the key entity in getting that budget bill legislation removed, that crypto legislation removed from the language of that bill. And I was stunned when I found that out. I thought, for sure that, the big banks would want, regulation of DeFi and all that. But apparently they didn't. Now I need to find out the reason why, because of course what's the why? Why did they do that? Because they didn't do it because out of the freaking love of their heart to fix crypto. There's an agenda.
There's something they're going to benefit from.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of stuff going on. The New York thing is hot right now. That's what they're all talking about around here in DC is the New York thing and how that's going to affect legislation moving forward. The whole mining thing. I don't know if everybody's heard of that. I'm sure
Yep.
it is. It's news everywhere. So that's on their plate right now. Everybody's talking about that and buzzing. It's interesting. It really is interesting how this thing works. But look, if we get a seat at the table, maybe we can help move things. So that's why I feel like I look like the soul has been sucked out of me. I think that's what this place does to you.
The blood ritual.
The blood ritual, yeah. It took 2 chickens.
I was going to say, how many
Life
chickens were
force by
sacrificed
osmosis.
today in the pentagram?
Yeah. They're laying over here right now.
That's why some of those politicians are like 100 years old and still in office. They're sucking your life force from the innocents that come to visit DC. That's why they have the student field trips there every year.
Taking
That's what's keeping those vampires alive.
It's
That's what's keeping those
conspiracy.
vampires alive.
what do they call that stuff? My kid was telling me about it the other day. That the stuff they pull from anyway. Probably shouldn't
Oh,
even
the
talk about.
adrenochrome?
Yeah,
You got like a
adrenochrome.
microphone in your freaking hotel room right now.
I know.
There's a Secret
It's
Service
right.
behind you.
serious,
There's a
man.
painting
This
behind
place
our
is
G and the eyeballs are blinking.
this
right now.
place is spooky,
Blink twice and
man.
You're in danger.
I'm freaking. I got to get out of here tomorrow, man. This place is spooky, but there is hope. There is people out here working. There's people working. They want to make DeFi happen. They want to change the world with it, and they want to do it the right way. And they want to bring legislation. They've got lists of people and legislation that wants to be passed, and how to get it done. And they're organized. They're organized, and they're working on it. And
But that's
it's
the problem
interesting.
is everyone keeps asking, okay, regardless of what party, what laws are you going to be putting on the books? It's the wrong freaking question, guys. The question we should be asking, how many of those stupid ass laws are you going to take off the books? That's the question we as a community should be asking.
Well, that's the hard part. The hard part is getting those things undone once they're done.
I know.
That's the real hard part. So that's what you have to be careful about, what's being put in.
Yeah.
Right now, crypto is kind of like avoided all the pitfalls. There hasn't been any legislation really that just because they don't understand it, it confounds them. They don't know if they want it or they don't want it, or they want to regulate it or don't want to regulate it. They don't know. And it's just because it's morphing and change. Like they're still trying to figure out Bitcoin.
Yep.
They don't even know what else is going on. They're still trying to figure it out. They're still trying to figure out DeFi and Web3 and what are all these things mean and how do they work and how do they function. They're so freaking. I mean, you think the crypto community is confused? Shit, these people don't have a clue.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what's stalling everything. That's what's stalling them from doing anything is they don't understand that. I think they honestly think that if they put some legislation in, they screw up. They would have screwed their position up or made something happen that they didn't want to happen. So they're like all afraid of it.
And cost them the election next go round.
Yeah, exactly. Or they could have done something. I mean, bottom line is Richard's already gamed the system. They can't stop it. I think that there's too much to legislate crypto out of existence. This thing in New York is going to be a big tell. If this goes nowhere, then they're going to have a hard time getting anything done, any type of real regulation on crypto if this thing in New York doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm still excited for the future. I'm just hopelessly optimistic, I think. I think usually some kind of sanity and God steps in and allows humans to make the right decision eventually. Not always right away, but eventually. And I'm still hanging my hat on that hope.
I love you, you penultimate optimist, you.
I know.
Penultimate, the second to last optimist. Who's the first?
Well, he's speaking to God. So like when somebody talks to God, they're the penultimate.
Penultimate.
Yeah.
I get it. All right.
Yeah, I'm just second in line.
Second in line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing is I think so these guys, I don't want to use the they, but obviously the powers that be at the top like the status quo. They like their positions of power. They don't want to give that up. and they're worried that this new digital revolution, peer-to-peer cash, ability to transact outside of their ecosystem is going to be the end of their grip of the tyranny. That I call it a tyranny, but it's a control over your life. And I think they're worried about losing that. And the more desperate they get, the more they tip their hand. So that's why I'm so hopeful, is I think that even all the people that are busy watching the Kardashians, several times a week, will wake up eventually and say, man, it's gotten pretty bad. We need to step in. And once people realize that we actually have the power as the people here in the United States, I can't speak on behalf of internationally. You guys don't have a constitution to protect you. We at least have that much to roll back.
What's left of it?
Yeah, what's left of it, exactly. But we still have some kind of this convention of states is a big deal. We only need like 4 or 5 more states to sign on, and we completely revamp the whole federal government. So there's a lot of hope out there, in my opinion. There really is. Because technology is either going to enslave us or it's going to free us. And these guys don't even understand the technology we're dealing with yet. So I have a feeling that it's more along the lines of it's going to free us.
It's like, what is it going to take, though? I mean, the people that call it privilege or whatever, but the people that a couple years ago could graduate college and maybe get some kind of a job where they're actually paying back their student loans, get a decent apartment, get a decent car, maybe get married, buy a house, have a kid or two, and eke by on 2 incomes. Now, I was at Sam's today, and I usually go in like Aldi and Sam's, and I kind of get the same kind of stuff every couple weeks. And progressively, you notice every time you go in that what you used to get for $50-$60 now is like 90, 95 or 100. Yeah. And you got to figure eventually that's going to slowly put a squeeze on these people that aren't paying attention enough to where one day they're going to look at their bank account or their savings or whatever and realize that they're struggling, and this paying off student debt and different other crap. They're always coming up with some new thing to appease the masses, to not let you notice that you're being slapped on this side of the face while they caress you on this side of the face.
And I
what's the last straw on the camel's back? What's going to take?
I think we're already there.
What I was talking about within the meeting I had this evening was the message, and the message, in order for it to resonate around this nation anyway. Again, everybody around the world, I mean, everybody's got a different situation with their own nations, but I see the regular person, the average Joe, like you were just talking about, with the productivity numbers of their work. And I'm talking about just normal working class folks like myself. Our productivity levels have gone through the roof over the last couple of few decades, 50 years actually or more. So we're working harder and producing more, and we've got less. Mm-hmm. And that's the plight of, like all of the Joe Plumber guys and all that kind of stuff, is that at what point is this thing going to break our way, the normal guy's way, which is the majority of the country, Mm-hmm. And crypto, Hex specifically, has the ability to change that for guys like me, where I was working and struggling and having to have a side business and my job in order to, make ends meet, to put a dime where a dollar was supposed to go every month, and having no 401k left, no pension plan, no, retirement in sight. At my age, which a lot of guys are in that boat, where they don't have a real good retirement plan, all the way up until age 50, 55. And now what are they going to do? They have to work till they're 80, mm-hmm. And that's the plight. That's where Hex saves people, because now you have a yield generating tool that can actually fix something like that in 5 to 10 years, fix a situation like that for people. And, I think that's the message that has to get out there to the masses, is that, hey, there's a better way to plan for your future. And those of you who are, it's not destitute, it's not over with. You do have tools out there that can help you to survive the next 20 years of your life into retirement.
Maybe
And
someday
Hex
we
does
can-
that,
Maybe someday we can pitch Hex to them to replace Social Security with Hex staking.
right?
That
Right?
wouldn't,
I mean, 'cause
that wouldn't be a bad idea.
You pay,
Dump it
you
into
pay in
Hex.
Social Security,
No, we're
and
just
it's
gonna-
paying the people that are collecting it now, right?
Yeah.
So
Social Security should just buy into the Hex Investment Trust. That's what they
Facts,
should do.
bro.
That's what
Facts.
they
Bing,
should do.
Bing, Bing,
one way to
lock
keep
that
them
shit
from
up.
borrowing against taking the money out of it when they want.
Yeah, they've been plundering that for a long time. Last tranches of money right there, baby.
Well, if you look at, so what on average people get what from their day job? A 2% annual increase in their wage when they get their pay raise?
Actually, the job I just took every September, if you still work there, you get a raise.
Son of
They
a
don't even
bitch.
go by job evaluation. If you still work there, you get a raise. But the raise across the board for everybody is dependent on how well the company did the previous year or something.
Okay.
But it's only between 2% and 3%. So if inflation's going up, anything over that,
Well, so that's
You're
my
digging a hole in
point.
the sand.
That's my point. If you're getting 2% pay raise, let's say high end 4% pay raise, in last quarter alone, inflation was 8%, and that was doctored numbers, probably closer to 15 to 20%.
Yep.
Yep.
And you're getting a 4% pay increase, that's an 8% or 8 to 16% deficit in what
Deficit.
you're actually making every year. That's
Yeah.
16% less goods than you were able to buy the year before.
And it's the hidden stuff too that people don't consider. Oh man, Bitfinesse drives a truck, right? So all this stuff has to be shipped, whether it's by boat, by train, by truck, diesel. And most people in this country, a lot of people do buy diesel for their vehicles, but the majority of people is gasoline, right? So the price of that goes up means the price of shipping goes up. I know the previous job I just left as a locksmith, there was a lot of materials, steel, brass, aluminum, different things we buy, that all the prices just skyrocketed. So, you're getting hit in every direction. They're printing money, which makes your dollar worth less. You're paying more for shipping. You're paying more off the shelf for stuff because it costs the company more to get it there.
Yep.
People are demanding higher wages because they want to make French fries and have a house with a white picket fence and 4 kids and brand new car. And it trickles back to what you pay. A couple years ago, you could still buy lunch for $5, $5 foot long, right?
Yep.
Sorry. Think about the 2 for $5 Arby's, this and that, all these different commercials. You used to be able to go and actually get lunch for $5, maybe $4 or $5. Now go to Taco Bell, order any of the combos on the menu, and you're paying $7 or $8.
2 number ones at Wendy's today, $22 for me and my son.
Yeah.
$22 for 2 hamburgers.
So
I
I always
heard
attributed
energy cost like 30% increase this month. That's
Yeah.
going to happen. That's going to trickle down to the consumer.
Well, I always figured whatever minimum wage is currently is about what lunch will cost you.
Yeah.
Like an average
That's a
normal lunch,
great way
not
to
a
go
dollar
about it.
menu.
Yeah.
So if I think back when I was in high school, it was $3.35 an hour. You could go to McDonald's and probably get a Big Mac, fries, and a Coke for $3.50. Nowadays, that same combo is going to cost you like $9-10 an hour, dollars if you go supersize or whatever, right? So I feel for people that are doing fast food. It's a shitty job, but sometimes that's all you can get, or that's what you chose.
Yeah.
But to think that you're going to be able to do that kind of job and have what your parents had, the house you just moved out of,
Yeah.
and have all those things they worked 30 years together to have, that's where I think a lot of the younger generation, and no offense to any younger Hexicans or whatever, but I think that where people miss. They go from living at their parents' house to thinking they're going to jump out and have that stuff. It takes time to get that stuff. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're not saving money and you're charging everything and you're paying interest on stuff, you're digging a hole in the sand.
Digging a hole.
And
Jerry-
Hex, like RG was saying, Hex fixes that for people. If they tuck away a couple of those extra dollars, a paycheck that you would have spent on ordering the pizza, you know what? Go to the store, get the stuff, make your own pizza. Take that $5 you saved and that next $5 and that next $10 and put it into something like Hex. And then you can actually start making some momentum to fight that inflation.
not financial advice, but
Not
at
financial
least
advice.
but
No.
you at least got to look for alternatives that are going to outpace this inflation for sure. And
Yeah.
I think Hex is one of those products that will continue to be one of those stores of value. I hope that's the case because it's not financial advice, and I've got no crystal ball. I've got no way to prove that, but it is where I personally am storing my value. So
You could,
Jerry
you could
Oaksmith, thanks for the $20. Thank you guys for the mindset education you're giving out. You bet, brother. Thank you so much for the
All right, fellas, I got to get rolling, man. I got to get up early and get to Texas. So DC is over. We made headway here, and it's looking good. I'm hopeful, and we'll see how this all pans out in the future here.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy. We'll see
Be
you
safe,
soon.
RG.
All right, guys, have a good one.
That
Good
was
seeing you,
not
Joker.
RG3. That was
You
not
too, man.
RG3. He's been replaced. I'm
He has
convinced.
been
He's a lizard.
I know. he's
It's a
been
lizard
replaced.
person.
I'm
It's a
calling his
lizard
wife.
person.
I'm calling his wife.
Blink 3
Later.
times if you can.
Yeah, if
He's
you're
laying
in
on a heat
trouble,
rock.
blink 3 times.
Oh shit! I almost ended the broadcast. Hold on, how do I get
Yeah,
out
don't
of
do
here?
that. Don't do that.
Nice.
I know you did that.
If he accidentally ends it, I am not restarting it. Good night, guys. Have a
We're
good
all
one.
replaced.
The real RG knows how to work the buttons.
That's right. Not the mic, but the buttons.
He was laying on a heat rock. You see that? Maybe he is a lizard.
The heat
Yeah,
rock.
look at it. Nice, Joker.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Doing the
It's Captain
push-ups.
RG3.
Little mouse tail
like
curls
that
out of the
filter.
corner of his mouth.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. That boy's got talent.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Where did they
Oh, yeah.
install the chip, RG?
Yeah, no wonder there was makeup everywhere in the green room. He's such a quick makeup changer.
Oh, wow.
This isn't my makeup, by the way.
Man, if it's a birthmark, I apologize, man. I didn't mean nothing by it. I'm sorry.
Oh, that came out the womb with this, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh, wait a minute.
In the
Mom, why so serious?
Yeah.
Yeah,
everybody-
this whole stream is serious. I was like, did I make a wrong hand turn? These guys are talking about buying 2 cheeseburgers for. I was like, where the heck
$30.
happened? I thought this was a cryptocurrency stream.
So someone fill me in on what Gunther was saying on Cabana stream today, because I did not get to check it.
he just stepped on his
Which
dick.
part? Which part?
I don't know. I heard there's some good things to talk about, so I just want to
He
bring it
did
up.
5 streams today, by the way.
And he
Wow.
was stellar on the stream before. I mean, he had some
And he
good
and he had to
things
pee
say.
37 times between all of them.
And he
apparently.
just tripped over his dick. No,
37
he just
times.
He just accused
Yeah.
Steph of selling and stuff. And then, Steph came in before he was going to bed and he was just like fired up about it. It's like, unless you have proof, you don't come out calling me out and this and that after all the things I do for this community. And if you don't think I'm smart enough not to sell at the bottom of a 95% dip, it's offensive and this and that. So, but Gunther was excellent on the show before, he's talking about a bunch of different things. And, I guess he just too many streams and you end up tripping over your dick after a while.
Damn.
Literally, because he
Someone
had to
was
go
trying
pee
to tell
37
me.
times. So
Well,
he
someone
probably
was
did.
telling me he was pro Pulse Doge and slings and arrows for Hedron. I was like, wait, I would have totally been the opposite, but hey, it is what it is.
Listen, I'm okay with free money. I mean, if anybody's
Me
going to
too.
give me free money,
Me
I
too.
mean,
Oh,
Pro
money's
free money.
great.
yeah.
I like free
Yeah.
money.
Oh,
I remember
and
when Uni happened. I was so happy about that.
I
That was
wish
a
I
good
had
one.
played that one different. If I'd known that was going to happen.
You
I
weren't
don't-
there, huh? Randy Hilarski was there, Hexo, and we were all just sitting there with our finger on the button, like,
No, it
let's
was
sell
it
that
was
stuff.
I was
now.
literally it was me, DC, and Randy Hilarski on air on that Friday night hangout, and he's like, "Uni did an airdrop," and we're like, "What?"
What?
And so we checked it out right there on the FN hangout. It
Yeah, it
was
was
crazy.
good. That was good
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah, that was stupid. I mean, like that was actually, I think, my first experience for free money, if I remember correctly. Like, yeah, I
Well,
was
Hex
like,
was free money.
well,
Did you have Bitcoin?
I
Did you
got-
Bitcoin free claim.
yeah, I did Bitcoin free claim, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. But
So it's
just
your
to have some,
penultimate. It was your penultimate experience then.
I
with,
took all that Uni and I put it right into Hex. I staked it.
but like what Randy's
bought-
talking about,
I bought
I
Hex with
think
my
I
Uni
caught
too.
him on stream about he was talking about with liquid loans guys. Like, I expect to get like $100,000 and like just free airdrop money.
Oh, Randy
When
Hars.
PulseChain launched, Randy
He
Hillars.
said, he said, guys, we're going to get like $100,000 just in airdrops before this is all done. And I was like, wow, $100,000. And somebody's like, yeah, Randy's going to get 100,000.
Yeah, no, Randy's
You
getting
might not
100,000.
get 100,000. Depends on what you how much sacrifice you got.
Pot of gold.
But you
my
know what?
Hedron
Still
bags
free
are
money's
doing
free money.
beautiful because
Free
I didn't
money's
pay
free money.
shit for my Hedron bags, and it's worth
Nah.
tens of thousands of dollars. So my bags are doing great, and that's
$20
a long-term
is
play,
$20.
That's
I didn't
right.
buy Hedron. I just minted.
Me too. Me too.
You
I
know?
didn't buy it.
Mm.
It cost
About
me.
that.
I think it cost me like $200 to get like $10,000.
But you do
Hedron.
understand.
So
You do understand how many people are going to look towards. Forget now. I mean, now is not like important. Look at the time when PulseChain does launch. How many people are going to try to create projects or get their face in front of somebody and give out free money? Like how are
Third-party
tokenomics?
coins on the single PLSX pool. I mean,
yeah.
hopefully we're going to have all kind of coins thrown at us
Yeah.
on that.
I'm excited. I think there's going to be plenty of free money. I think Rich Cooper was wrong when he said there's no such thing as free money. He's not been in crypto very long. He's never used
There's a ton of
Uniswap and 1inch or
Oh, yeah.
Tornado Cash or had Hex stakes and got Hedron and PLSD. So
I wasn't here for the Uni state, the Uni airdrop. Was it the same for everybody, or was it based on how much you used?
it was
Uni?
how it was. If you've ever
How
made a
many
trade on it,
accounts? Yeah.
yeah. So every account that you had, every unique address, didn't even have to be an address on a separate seed phrase, but every unique address that had made made one trade got like, I don't remember how
400.
many, was it 400 uni?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. And then if you had provided liquidity, you got a sliding scale depending on how much of the liquidity pool you were for the coins that you provided liquidity. Like if I remember correctly, I think Steph made like $8 million or something like that, providing liquidity, being an early liquidity provider for Hex and on multiple pairs, I think ETH and USDC. And then there were a lot of people that had multiple wallets and they got the same thing for 1inch.
Mhm.
Like there's people that made, dude, the OA, I think made close to $25 million on the Uni airdrop, I think, if I remember correctly, just off of the providing liquidity.
Was that probably like a year or so ago, roughly?
That was 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, that explains it, because I got in crypto just over a year ago, and then unfortunately I never even knew about Richard Hart until I saw him on Around the Blockchain right
That was a
when
good one.
PulseSec was starting.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So this is not going to be popular with some of you guys here, but it is why we have been working and doing the things behind the scenes that we have been doing. And I think Schwa is completely correct. It'll be exponentially more valuable to come together and invest in the politicians who have our backs than the 600 plus K to wrap a NASCAR. I 100% believe that. So the no shots fired at anyone that was involved in that. It was, I know you were trying to do good for the community, but guys, they spent over $750,000, I think, traveling this tour for the United States for the Hex tour. And guys, I just look at that money and I'm like, you guys realize how much mass adoption we could have actually got real, like actual work done if for these dollar amounts. I mean, we're talking, that's $1.5 million right there between the two. So I think some of these other things are more important, like making sure we are investing in the right politicians. We are having people that are crypto friendly. We are doing direct marketing, that we're actually doing stuff that is going to onboard people. No shade at the crypto Sparbook guys. They're going to hate me. There's going to be people that come after me tomorrow.
No,
I don't really care.
Twitter's going to
That's
blow
fine.
up, bro.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
KNTX. I got to say this one thing though. There's never anything wrong with doing the right thing, and you have to look at things in perspective. This was the first iteration of like, let's go hard force marketing, right? We don't have, I
disagree with that, because
you disagree.
Richard had been saying for a long time, direct marketing works way better than brand marketing.
Okay, but
so,
I will still say he opted and he still opts and he does the promotion from his brand about, about the races and stuff.
No, they should have just given all their money to KNTX. I mean, he could
No.
better.
I don't want it.
No. I mean,
No, I don't want it.
No,
Like,
I
trust
mean,
me, it's a lot of that's a lot of responsibility.
it's
to take
an
that kind
honest
of
and
money.
fair discussion.
I think it's fair. See, that's the thing that gets me though, is that people are so hard-headed one way or the other that to even mention it becomes the problem. No, I'm sorry, I disagree.
I knew bringing.
I agree with Crypto J here. It's a legit question. Don't you think guys agree Hex could have more adoption if Richard changes his marketing style for the better? I think yes. Richard told me on our phone call this week, no, I'm wrong. That outrage marketing works better, and that's why he's doing it. And I said, yeah, but you're not getting the eyes of 50%. And he even admitted 54% of the population is women. This kind of marketing he does not work with women. The reason he says that he thinks it is more effective is 85% of the people watching YouTube are men in the first place, and that's why he does it. So we talked about these things. You guys will see all that. This is all going to come out as other content later. We've got this all on stuff. Video and so it's okay for us to disagree, guys. It's okay. Yeah. To me, I think it was really cool that they did the US tour. I think it was really neat of them to spend their money on something that probably brought some people in, but realistically, I doubt. I would love to see the numbers, and I don't see any hard empirical data that they're putting out there. But more than likely, the only people they actually onboarded were secondary warm market people that were told to come there by their friends that maybe were on the fence. Like, I don't legitimately think that caused a huge surge of new Hexicans. Most of the people that showed up to this tour were people that were already Hexicans, and they just used it as a meetup. I love you guys. Don't get me wrong. I just don't see any empirical data showing that as much money as you guys spent on that tour, it was actually effective. So there's just better ways this money could have been spent as a community. And I think we almost need a DAO and the problem is that too many people get to throw their hat in the ring with the DAO, and Richard is right about that. But it'd be really nice if we're going to say, hey, if we're going to throw $1 million, $750,000, $500,000 at something for marketing, why don't we all brainstorm and all of us vote on what we think would work best? So we might have still ended up with a road tour and a $600,000 NASCAR car. I don't know. That doesn't. The thing that really frustrates me with this community is that you're not even allowed to think one way or the. If you're in one camp, the other camp's wrong. If you're in that camp, the other camp is wrong. Guys, that is not the world that I grew up in. That is Discourse. That's the name of this channel, Discourse Syndicate. It's a place where we were able to syndicate and bring together a lot of different voices so we could have a true discourse and we could figure out the best path moving forward. That was the whole point of Discourse. So I'm going to get vilified. I'm going to get attacked by probably 10 really loud Hexicans tomorrow on Twitter, and that's okay. But thank you guys for all the publicity, because it's free publicity.
He said 10 Hexicans with loud voices. Oh man,
it is what it is, guys. I don't think it was great usage of money.
I got to work for them. Pump my bags.
I think something too that, I mean, this is maybe just my perspective on it too, is like when you take all the different content creators, right? There's different types of programs, right? Some people have panels, some people interview people, some people just they never live stream, they upload video content of whatever their analysis is on whatever, right? So there's different kind of stuff. And I think if you really took it and separated it out and had to put an actual description on the different kinds, there's probably like the channel, like the Gen Hex channel, right? I'm not doing TA. I'm not doing like a cryptographics will break down stuff, K for K breaks down stuff and analyzes stuff and has all this different game theory and different things, right? We are more of a morale boost, the channel like we have, right? We are.
I love what you guys are doing, by the way. Thanks so much for being that voice. Absolutely.
But we're there to try to be positive, to try to have it kind of like I said before, like a junior Discourse Syndicate, right? Yeah. We weren't trying to steal what you guys were doing. It was just kind of a place for the shy new streamers to have a place to come in and just feel comfortable and get on camera and whatever, but I feel like our channel is more, it's kind of informative. We have different guests on, they get to talk about whatever topics we're talking about. And then you have other channels that are more, data driven, like Hex Token. Every stream he does, he breaks down like the day's stats and everything, right? So I can go on and on the different styles. But I think some of us are in our own echo chamber preaching to the choir, right? Like you have your
100%.
regulars, they're already Hexicans, whatever. And then there's other ones out there that are bringing in, trying to find ways to reach, like Joker's like been doing more like with the gaming community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other genres. We could talk about all kind of different streams, different people. And I don't want to probably piss somebody off if I go too far, because somebody won't like my description of what they're doing, right? But my point is, there's a difference between onboarding, marketing, cheerleading, echo chamber, preaching to the choir. There's different things different people do, but as a whole, we kind of need all those different genres and things, because there's an audience for each different thing.
Now, I agree with that, and I think
there's a
that's why
morale.
we want a bunch of different streamers coming from a lot of different places,
Mm-hmm.
not only in their lives and what stage of life they're in, but the different audiences that they're targeting. Because your crowd gets a different. Obviously there's some crossover between our watchers, but the people that watch me aren't the same people that watch you 100%, and the same people that watch Joker, and the same people that watch any other Hex or Pulse streamers out there. So I like that we're doing that. In fact, Discourse has always been supportive of new streamers coming on board. That's the whole reason, was that this community was created through Discourse Syndicate, was to hopefully allow people a voice to get started so they could go off and create their own stream, because they are going to appeal to different people. And I like that.
Jim
So
Rat. Sorry, go ahead,
Joker. I just kind of want to talk to this because I kind of have like an intimate relationship with this kind of topic. So Discourse Syndicate actually took me under their wing when I got off of D Live after what happened with the craziness, and I wanted to do 100% Hex content, and they really, put me in front of the community, and it was actually quite the adventure. And then, some things happened in my personal life, and I figured, I needed to kind of branch off and do things on my own. In the Pulse world, right? So they were very supportive and extremely helpful in that kind of in that realm.
Thanks, man.
So no, thank you. Really, like I said, I have a very you affected me a lot there, right? So what that did was it enabled me to go and build Pulsification. Now, Pulsification, it molded from a Joker stream into a team, and then I went into like the gaming world, as you said. In terms of the echo chamber, right? I've identified that problem where we were just kind of operating within the same 100 to 200 people. And I said, you know what? PulseChain requires us to venture out into the unknown, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, again, whether it be gaming or finance, like what Discourse Syndicate's doing with politics and whatnot, it's still an unknown. And that echo chamber that we were once operating within needs to be more employed to assist us in that venturing, right? So when your warriors are going out to inside of a forest, and that forest is a dark forest, you guys need to be out there shining lights. So this way, you got people like KNTX or RG3 having your kind of support in the background, pushing them forward into these new markets for that adoption. The same thing goes in the gaming community. I don't know what the hell, what's going to go on Twitch, right? Twitch is a whole nother platform other than YouTube. I've been fortunate to have a niche where, I'm thinking Twitch is pushing my content. I'm having 100 people that I've never seen before on Twitch, ever. Not Hexicans, no coiners. Like, I'm talking about people that have never seen this kind of stuff. And they're like, what the hell is Hex? What is PulseChain? Who's Richard Hart? They have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I need more Hexicans to again, shine the lights for these people to say, hey, come this way. We need you to come here and learn about this kind of stuff. Let's go to a Discourse Syndicate stream, or, a hexologist stream or whatever, kind of show them the ropes to kind of reel them in. So that's kind of how the echo chamber and, us that are venturing outside of the echo chamber need to collaborate,
Yep.
Well, that's kind of where I was going with that too, is regardless of what penetration you're trying to extend our community and go after, whether it's fitness or gaming or tech or developers or whichever way, there's a certain amount of reputation that goes along with it. And when those people are curious of, hey, what's going on over here with this guy? Okay, he's playing these games. Okay, I like watching people on Twitch play games. And what's he's talking about? Pulse launch coming up or whatever. You get that intrigued, entertained curiosity. They come in and they're more open to kind of, hey, looks like you're having fun. Why are you having fun? I want to have fun. You go to some bar or nightclub.
There's a tactic involved. Okay. So an example, right? I've had this customly developed, as you can see in my background, right? You see me laughing. The Joker took over Gotham, and then you'll start seeing PulseCon. You'll start seeing Pulsify Your Life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I give these subtle kind of like breadcrumbs, right? So then people, it kind of opens the door for a conversation. Like, what is Pulsify Your Life? What does that even mean, right? So see, there it goes, PulseCon, right?
Mm-hmm.
People start asking these questions. So, and I've had people ask me these questions on we have like a direct message service on Twitch that allows people to contact the content creator. But my point is, like, an example like what like the fitness thing, right? It's a crypto fitness, but there's like a pulse and a hex kind of like flavor to it, right? So this way it's not in your face, but it's more like it opens the door for conversation, right? That's kind of how I've been doing it.
Yeah.
No, actually, yeah, because sometimes if you're too aggressive, it's like you meet a girl, you're talking to a girl, she's got like a perfume or something on, you can just barely get a whiff of it every once in a while, and it's like it's whatever. But if she is like sprayed herself down with that, I don't care how hot she is, you're not going to be talking to her too long because you can't, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes too much is too much, and if you get in somebody's face too much about trying to onboard somebody, I think sometimes that subtle enticement to get somebody interested, and like you said, then they start asking you questions about it, and then you don't feel like you're pushing it down their throat. They're actually coming to you for the.
That's why. So we've had a lot of Hexicans get mad at us when we have interviews on, why didn't you tell them more about Hex? And it's like, because that's not how people are won over. A lot of these people have been pitched a lot of different cryptos. Trust me on that. They need to like you first before they're ever going to ask you, so what's your take on the cryptos you're involved with? So
I have to go ahead and touch on that as well. So interviews, right? Interviews are, generally speaking, depending on who the person is that you're interviewing, it's kind of introducing them to the community, right? So typically the interview needs to be about them, and then you talk about crypto as a whole, right? You don't just shove it down their throat, And I found, and maybe you guys can go ahead and take this kind of technique to your own live streams or whatnot, but I found that if you take something that's relatable to them, such as boxing, football or whatever, whoever the person is, and then you kind of relate it how it could have a certain relatable thing to crypto, something that they like that will get funded in crypto or what have you, people are more susceptible to receiving that message, right? Just like the J. Leon Love kind of thing that we did, or I know Jake Lund currently is he's gonna have a fight here soon. He wasn't always into it, right?
Yep.
He got sponsored by Discourse Syndicate. We did the interview, and the guy is promoting Hex and everything. He's a Hexican. We onboarded him, and the guy's doing phenomenal. He's doing these fights with Hex apparel on, right? So that translated into other things. But the point I'm trying to make is, when you do these interviews, number one, sure, it's okay to interview people within our ranks in the echo chamber, because it helps people who are within our echo chamber kind of like get some spotlight. You're kind of reminding the community that they exist and to go check them out. So this way it boosts their own algorithm in their channels. So that's good for that. But if you want to reach outside of the community, there should be more of a push to get the celebrities, to get the boxers, to get the football players and the financial people, like, for example, what KNTX has been doing, what RG3 has been doing, because that in its own will provide that information to people outside of our ranks and bring them in, you know?
Yeah, we
Well,
don't go out and say, "Hey, we're part of the Hex community." Like, that's not how this goes.
I noticed RG does that pretty good job too. When he interviews people outside of the community, he keeps it about the topic, why they're there, what they're the expert
Right.
of. And then he has this really good way of kind of sliding different stuff in. Well, you know, the community we're in and this thing, this, you know, Hex actually fixes this or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he'll kind of just
Yep.
lightly
He does a really good job of
touch on it,
touching
and then
on
he'll
it.
kind of slowly back off again. He doesn't press too hard. I think he's real
So,
good at it.
so the whole reason I started this conversation, guys, is and Dorsey's right. Stop focusing on what happened. It's about going forward from here, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Okay, so we failed. That really wasn't great marketing. Those two things that we spent a lot of money on. Now it's time for us to go forward. Now we've got a better understanding of what does work. You know, the boring stuff that actually works is not as flashy and not as cool. But it's more effective. And Steph's right. Steph, thank you so much for showing up, brother. It's always good to see you, man. It's been a while. I hope things are going well for you guys. I know you guys are working on version 2, but best marketing is green candles. And I agree with that. It's 100% hard to get someone on right now especially when it's people that are like, well, I already missed the run up. It's back down again. And you're like, well, until I can start showing some green. Yes, but not everybody invests that way. I mean, that's why Warren Buffett is wealthy and everyone else is in their IRAs.
When the rocket lands back on Earth, you onboard onto it, right? You're ready to go and go back into orbit. You don't board the rocket when it's already in outer space, right? Like
it's true, but I mean, you still have to overcome that. So that is the best marketing.
That's part of what I was leading into earlier. What we're trying to do, and I'm not going to lie, we invite guests, right? We invite different people. I asked Joker earlier today if he wanted to come on tomorrow, right? We invite people that have bigger audiences, obviously, because there's a reason why they have a bigger audience. They've got something to say that people want to hear.
Yeah.
And not only by introducing them to the people that come to our channel, it helps our channel out because obviously we want to have more subscribers. I've been transparent from the beginning about getting up to 1,000 subs so we can have other things that we could use to keep the channel going and stuff. But Crypto Compassion is actually working on a situation right now where next weekend we're hoping we might have an actor from that was Breaking Bad. One of the actors from Breaking Bad. And I think him and his brother were in Better Call Saul too. So
nice.
Somebody that's interested in crypto, we're trying to get that project on and maybe get him to come on with it. So that may dab into his little fan club or people that are into what he's into too. Right. Yeah. But ideally the main goal for the Gen X channel is something that I don't know that anybody else is particularly doing. I know Crypto Coffee has a pretty good library of different videos he's made, but we want to get better at onboarding and teach people how to onboard. Some people are never going to onboard. Some people are not going to feel comfortable for whatever reason talking about Hex or staking or whatever. But there's a lot of people that have opportunity to do it, but they just don't know how to do it. And we want to start with It's Now's help. You know, I've talked about this before, making like the little icebreaker type small short videos of how like to get a conversation started and how to be able to overcome when people shut you down, you know, with whatever crypto is a scam or Ponzi or all these different things. But that's one thing that I don't know of another channel that does that, to try to help people that are looking for it, or bring your onboards to us, bring them to a live stream on a Saturday. Tell us who they are. Tell us who you're bringing. What's the situation? And we'll try to talk to them, you know, even on live on stream. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just something we're trying to do. And it takes some time to get the traction and the streaming. And I still work a day job, you know, so it's like, it's hard just getting the Saturday stream done sometimes with other stuff, you know,
Yep.
but
I'm with you on that one, bro.
And we've had some great guests already. I'm really thankful to the community. Marco, Feder, Motley, Luther. I think Luther was on our first stream, came on there. Like I said, I asked Joker about coming on. So we want to be
because
part
I
of the
turned you down. Are you just still bitter about that, Greg?
No, you said you don't usually do weekends.
No, I usually don't.
But we do
I'm a
weekday
family man
streams
first
sometimes.
before I'm a Hexican, and it's
Oh,
hard
No.
to it's hard to slip away on the weekends. It's my time with my
Well,
family.
we do
They
other
already-
streams during the week. So if you ever do want to do
Yep.
one during the week,
I would love to.
Wells had the same conversation with Wells on the weekends. He's got stuff going on usually, but anybody ever wants to come on, we'll do a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night or a Thursday or something if that's what works for you. We don't mind. But the point being is, if we can't penetrate these different genres and markets, if anything else, we want to be able to help the people that are already in our community be better at talking to people on their own, make a bunch of tiny little onboarders that can go out. You teach 500 people how to
Real quick,
fish.
just 1 second. Steph, thanks, brother, for the contributions. Diversity of opinions is good. Trying out different strategies for different demographics is great. It's marketing 101. Keep the good chat, guys. Have a lovely weekend. Peace. Good to see you, brother. Go get some rest. So,
sorry, I didn't mean to take over that. I'm just saying we're trying different stuff too. We're trying to do a different thing. And I said it before, it'd be great if you go and you're like, oh crap, there's 3 people streaming right now. Who am I going to watch? Or
Yes.
I'll go in here for a minute and then see what's going on, go in here. And it's like, you want to support everybody, but better than sitting there and being like, oh, I haven't watched anybody stream in 14 hours and nobody's going to be on for another 14 hours. It's great having choices of who to even watch.
Oh, I agree with that 100%. Yeah. So Gerald Salente, he did not pull any punches on our interview.
That was awesome, bro.
Yeah, I just let him go to town. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to stand in the way of what this guy's
I've been
saying because I
listening to
agree
that
with
man
what
for
he's
a long
saying.
time.
Have you?
Yeah,
God
I've
and
followed Gerald Salente for
freedom.
12 years, man.
Freedom.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Before I bring up inviting freedom, I
You
already
gotta play the
botched
song.
it, but I will try to make it back up as much as I can.
Inviting freedom, freedom, freedom.
Yes.
Sorry, inviting freedom.
Daddy.
I botched it. Thank you so much for the reminder.
Woo.
All right. Thank you.
It's good
Ken.
to see you. Yes.
How are you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing all right, brother. Life is good. How are you doing, sir?
You know how I'm doing, family. I mean, this
Oh,
has been like the
God.
most magical, set of like 4 or 5 days since I came in here officially about 14 months ago. I'm floored. It's just so much blood, sweat, and tears with testimonial to the quality, man, of these people. I mean, I cannot believe how many times I was caught when I was falling just in the last week. And the support, like, I don't know if you guys got to see episode 5 of the new channel, but that was like Rainmaker and T Money and Rags, Brandon, they're like, this is your coming out, son. And they announced on stream that, I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. And they announced on stream that it's a lock. Thoughtchild is speaking at PulseCon 2022, and I'm being paired in a panel with Rags Brandon, man. So
I love it, man. That's so
my
cool.
God, it's pure fire. And I just have, if I start listing the names, we'll be here for 20 minutes of listening to me list names of Hexicans. It's literally, that's how indebted I am.
Dude, I love it. I think that is so
people.
cool because for the most part, we have our loud minority that like to sling poo like monkeys at a zoo. But for the most part, this community is just absolutely solid.
Well, that's something I had to invoke several times, because when you are a person that's going to step with principles, and when they're rooted, in the wheelhouse that I believe mine and some of my brethren's are, you never want to be obstinate. You're never going to be an asshole for asshole's sake. However, you will draw a line, that can't be crossed. And that whole idea of sovereign autonomy under universal law, that's not just a catchphrase. if you know, it'll be as apparent as the nose on somebody's face if it's just a thing you're saying. You have to bleed it, sweat it, and the tears have to smell like it. That's 100%. What it is.
I like that sentiment because it is 100% true, and you guys stay based in your principles, your morals, your ethics.
When you and I got to know each other, I don't know if you remember, and I wrote you that heartfelt thing after Dr. Cynthia.
You didn't like me before then.
No, and I told you, I said something about you was turning me off, but when I saw you holding your daughter, when you were speaking to my favorite American politician of all time, I said, bro, I just became your biggest fan, dude. I saw something I had neglected to see before, and I even apologized to you. Now, ubiquitous to the way that I am, did I write you a novella? Yeah, sure. It was 70,000 paragraphs. You know, I wanted to be concise. But after it was all said and done, and I did invoke that phrase, man, brah, you were like, you grabbed my arm virtually, and you were like, that sentence you just said, son, what was that? And I said, sovereign autonomy. And you were like, yes, keep going. I was like,
yes,
autonomy under natural law. You were like, that's it. That's the tagline. I was like, oh, all right, word.
Yep, 100%.
Brothers from another mother. It ain't even a stretch.
Yep.
Speaking
of
which,
it's been a pleasure to be on this journey with you, my friend. I just wish I had more time. Yeah, I know. I'm starting to tear up. Sorry, Dorsey. So
if I was a cat, this would be my 8th life. Like you are my people, and you have supported me in making sure I don't spend that 9th one.
Look who's on because you're on, Thoughts. He wouldn't come when I invited him, but as soon as you show up, here he is.
Yeah, I got it. Hey, Thoughts Child.
Guy.
Who let you on, bro?
Thanks, Craig.
Love
hey,
you.
I gotta thank these guys too that are sitting here real quick. Hex, Deck, and Craig, Gen Hex. These guys, like, were at every single one of my streams so far. They were being proactive. They were being supportive. They were giving advice, and I was telling them to go eat a dick up, quick up, and hiccup. You know, but you know, other than that,
it's true.
It was just an amazing support. And I tell you guys, I don't know if you know what Rainmaker did, but I mean, you want to talk about crying? I'll start crying right the fuck now. That guy could have had himself a 20-minute to half-hour speaking block at PulseCon, and he deferred. And he said, if I have anything to say, he said, Thothschild can say it. So, you know,
yeah,
that get the fuck out of here, right?
I think that's cool. Well, apparently Dorsey only wants to hear whales and inviting freedom. So I'm going to go ahead and bring everybody else down. And
what? Hold on. What am I supposed to be saying?
See, it's me and you. But listen, I've been telling everybody, no, just me and you. See, we work together. It's so good. And you know what? You have to talk about the economy because you needed to. Did you see that? I just come on.
Yo,
you can do it. Chill it. Economic collapse. We need to get ready.
Man. Or 8. I mean, I talked about this last summer.
Dude, she's gonna try to trick you into planting a tree, bro.
Is that what it is?
Careful.
Nah, there's no dirt around here.
It's Arbor Day. I remember that.
We need some jackhammers and backhoes and all kinds of crazy.
I went and cut down 3 trees just to counteract everything that all the damage inviting freedom did on my channel that night.
I think there's some buzzing. Whales only. Do you hear that? I'm not sure, but anyway.
Yeah, that's outside.
What was that? Yeah, I think it was coming from her channel. I think it's coming from her microphone. So.
Yeah, I didn't have the heart to cut down trees, but I did turn loose a couple million box beetles in the forest. Is that kind of the same thing?
You let them go in the forest? You released them into the
Well, they were in my firewood, and I was like, be gone, beetles, and I set them free in the forest. The national park.
Yeah, I had some emerald ash borers.
Thank you.
Oh, ash beetles, whatever. Box
the emerald ash borer, right?
What's a box?
I was raising them like pets.
Wood ash is actually really good for gardening. There's a lot of potassium and
hell? Where did that come from? Well, nobody was talking about wood ash. What?
She's not wrong, though, bro.
No, we better be thinking about food production, my friend.
Dude, it really could become something very serious here in the very near future.
Well, the way we eat right now, we are essentially trusting the fuck out of people that we've already given 5,000 reasons each of us why we shouldn't trust them. But okay, you know what I'm saying? It's counterintuitive.
Well, it's counterintuitive because we don't have the natural inclination and just, go out back and fucking plant some seeds, bro.
That's why.
Like, it's just not
That's
normal.
me.
You
Like,
know what I
that's
mean?
why I left the
Anymore.
city. Like, and that's why I'm in the
Yeah.
woods now, because I guess I'm an outlier.
I mean, even for a lot of people that don't live in the city, it's just not like they gotta. It's people in this day and age, we have to make a conscious effort to do that. It's not something that we're brought up doing. It's not natural. It's just not for most people anyway.
Man,
unfortunately,
one of many features that
Depends on where you live too, because some places you can't grow anything. My dad had a garden outside of Pittsburgh, and we would go fish in the river, take the crappy fish, the catfish and carp we can't eat, and we would compost it in the garden. And after several years, we were pumping out tomatoes and squash and peppers and giving them out to people because the soil, some places where you live, the soil is so garbage you can't grow anything without really.
That's true.
Taking years to compost it.
And then Ken, you're our freedom man. You're our sovereign autonomy man. I mean, what do you think about you're actually not allowed or supposed to collect rainwater in some places and can get a fine for
Colorado.
Is that insane?
Yeah, Colorado had a law for years. It was overturned, I think, 5-6 years ago. But there was literally a law that you could not collect your rainwater. Now you can, but that is, to me, the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, especially in arid regions.
I mean,
like
imagine
ours.
being told that you can't catch something coming out of thin air on your own personal property.
That's right. That's right. And I'm like, who the fuck do you think?
Not even close, Sandy B. Not even close. Sorry.
A little bit of lag, Sandy. Sandy gang.
Yo, that's funny.
Love it. These are all good things, though. So if you guys will notice, potash is like the #1 fertilizer in the world. And right now, with all the disruptions in Europe, thanks to the Ukraine-Russian war, it is almost impossible because I think 25% of the world's potash comes from Canada and like 70% comes from Russia, the Great North. And we don't have access to any of that now. So if we have to go back to compost and cow manure, there's no way we'll suffice as farmers here in America to be able to put out that same food production.
My plants literally smile at me when I use my own, local made compost on those plants more than anything else. Anything else.
I thought that sentence was going to end completely different.
Oh, that would be you, my friend. Was that you? Hey, Craig, was that you earlier when RG3 was talking? And was that you that said that's why they have all the field trips down to Washington, D.C.?
No, I said the politicians live to be 100 because they're vampires, and that's why they have the high school field trips go every year because they're sucking their souls out.
You're sick. Sick man. You're dead on, but you're sick. Hey, Ken, I had things about what RG3 was saying that I felt were kind of important. I'm bummed he's not here, but I just wanted to bring him up real quick. Do you guys, Hextech, you were here. Liberty, I'm not sure. Inviting wasn't. Craig was. KNTX was. Do you guys remember when RG3 was saying how the verbiage, of that thing, the crypto legislation that was going through, how that was kind of at the end of the day interrupted by he didn't want to say, he said, quote unquote, one of the big boys, one of the big legacy powers was the one. I just wanted the first thing that pops into my mind is you all know like who owns, is it Consensus who makes that product that we all like use as an extension? I don't ever say it because I'm used to, if you say MetaMask on Twitter, all of a sudden you get attacked by all these fake people. But the parent company of the company that owns that DeFi product,
it owns them now. Yeah.
Right. So my thinking is then wouldn't it just be
nobody
logical?
really knows this.
Well, wouldn't it make logical sense? What are they making now? It was 8%. Is it higher now, 9 or 10%? Like that's just a profit model decision for them. They don't give a F about DeFi or CFI or anything.
No, we know it's definitely something that benefits them. Otherwise, they wouldn't advocate for it.
Well, I was just trying to drill down on it like granularly.
You that's why like free alpha.
Well, I just don't know. I don't know. See, here's the thing. I'm very wary of someone claiming to be on our side on something when we know our products literally are designed to replace theirs.
So thank you.
to me, it just leads me to think what they're obviously playing a longer game. They could go with the short one and done, keep the legacy finance, the only finance ecosystem out there, but that's not what they're doing. So they're doing something. They're lining up for the next play. It's just, what is that play going to look like when they decide to pull the trigger?
What have I always said? I said an ancient lineage of master psychologists who gamed, and now Crypto Kool-Aid's going to be freaking out at home, like pulling out his hair that I say this, but master psychologists who run game theory optimal out 1,000 times farther than the best of us can even conceive. And that's what Ken just basically, brought up. That's what they're doing here. They're thinking, they're thinking so many steps ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think they think they're going to down the road be able to be the one that runs this new space. And so they don't want these things. They don't want the government to get in the way of their new profit center in the future. But I think they're going to be sorely mistaken.
Right.
But I think they are thinking ahead several different steps. And if these CBDCs become a legit thing, which it looks like they're going to be, they want to be the vendor of the CBDC. They want to be. Word. It is. It's a 4-letter word, bro.
Whenever
CBDC.
You say that on Discourse Syndicate, you guys should have a clown horn that plays every time you go CB.
Or at least bleep it out. CB. Yeah. So I'm hopeful for the future, but I am also cautious.
Yeah, as we should be. And every day is a fight. We don't take it for granted any day we wake up. Every day we know we gotta settle with ourselves in the mirror first, and then after that we gotta go out and do the work. I'm too rich for this conversation.
It's been like a marketing seminar. What else have we been doing? We've been growing our own food.
The other thing, Ken, this is the last thought, and then I'll shut up. But you guys were talking about what is the awareness level of the people making the legislation? I mean, was it not you and RG3 who said to us that when you guys went out on the road to talk to these people, they were literally asking you questions like, "Oh, how many tokens can you fit in a duffel bag?"
Yeah,
like that. That
all of them,
really.
Yep. Yeah, no, these are the questions we're getting, guys.
Woo!
So.
It sounds like sarcasm. Sounds like that was a question that came out. They didn't. Yeah.
Right. No, actually,
guys are 96 years
old. They meant that.
Yeah.
Meant that.
You got a guy in his 80s asking this. And this is at a state. And this is at the state level. So, well, there was no good follow up after that. Let's just put it that way. So, I just think that there's a lot of these state governments, not so much on the federal level yet, but these state governments are putting together special task force, and we're aligning ourselves with certain political players to be on these boards. We want to be on these. We want to be in the room when these talks are being had, because they're going to design this legislation. I'd rather have some say in it. I'd rather have the opportunity to run some interference or throw some good points. So I used to think lobbyists were the problem. It's not lobbyists. It's the money that's thrown into the system that's still the problem. And I still believe that. But I have learned over the last year that without lobbyists, there would be a lot of really poorly informed laws going on the books without lobbyists to educate the real issues with the blowback or the unintended consequences of these laws going into effect. So I just think
that are getting personal time with Mr. Wentz from Mad. I mean, God Almighty, that must be an experience.
He's an amazing dude. I love the dude to death. So,
and you know who called us back? Who's ready? To talk again?
Okay,
Dr. C. So let's get in there.
We wouldn't have to worry about idiotic laws if we had more adults in the country than children.
Yeah, I think the main issue is the fact that people think that they need to relinquish responsibility to third parties like politicians. That's the actual problem. Lobbyists are irrelevant. They're just a symptom of the actual issue. One common theme that I keep discovering amongst a lot of conversations is that people want to discover or talk about the superficial problem. We need to step away from that. We need to get to the actual crux of the issue and nip that shit in the bud.
Right,
to
because
help.
it's like healthcare that talks only
Yeah,
about
who cares about a
symptoms.
band-aid? I don't care
Yeah,
about
it's
a
only,
band-aid.
only talking about symptoms. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I don't care about band-aids. We need to focus on the actual problems.
Rich golfer, dude. Like, I'm a
What
rich
up?
golfer, dude.
King, what up, King?
Hey, Wales, I have a question. I don't
What's up?
understand. I don't understand how when they create legislation, they could pack like 1,000 different things into one piece and then vote on it, right?
Called
It's-
pork.
It's already written beforehand. Everything that happens is staged. For anybody to think that these so-called random shootings are random, they're not. Everything is planned in advance. The legislation is already on the table, waiting to be invoked.
Yeah, how do you
can
think they
see
come
this
to?
shit.
How do
You
you
can
think they
see it
come to the
online,
table? How do you think they come to the table so quick with their
They're already there.
political solution? Because it's already been drafted. It's already written.
there.
Oh, the
Yeah.
best is when you have the journalists who print up the front page of the newspaper accidentally before the damn thing even happens. And
Oh
you're like,
yeah,
"Oh,
I've seen
come
that
on,
a
man."
few times actually. As a matter of fact, the first time I remember seeing it was 2001, Building 7.
Really?
Mhm. Yeah, they reported it. It fell, and the dude that reported it was standing in front of the damn thing. He just didn't know because he was a foreigner.
I shouldn't laugh, but my God,
No, it's funny.
Diraj, gotta run. No golden mic. No more golden
Peace,
mic.
D. But
Um,
that's the kind of things that happen, man, real time. And
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
like a 1,000-page bill, and oh, by the way, we're voting on it in the morning. You know,
Right
and
now.
who has time to go ahead and read?
we got
this
all the
stuff?
votes. Don't even
No,
worry
they
about
don't
it.
do it in the morning. They do it in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
They do it over Christmas break.
and there's like 50 different
When you're not
concepts in there,
looking.
and then you find out, oh, and there's
Here's the real
50
problem.
billion going to some other thing that was
Yeah.
buried in there somewhere.
Yeah, fix the
here's-
money, fix the world.
So it's true because it didn't go very far because these politicians would never get their agendas passed, but there was actually a law on the table that they were trying, that I can't remember who it was that sponsored the bill, but it was essentially going to be hey, one item only at a time, no throwing pork in, and that got shot down really quick. So
Of course.
and that was during the Obama administration. But the problem is that the majority of people are kept fighting for daily survival and have no time to sort through the issues in detail or know who is screwing them and how. 100%. 100% one Hexy mofo. That's the whole reason they want your pay to only go up 2 to 4% a year and inflation to hit
everything
you
else,
8 to 20% a year.
Right?
So that you have to fight that much harder to support your family and not have enough bandwidth or money at the end of the
Think
day.
about it
to
on a
fight.
day-to-day basis. Who can come home from a 10-hour day at a job and has it left in them, especially if they have a family, to research? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, no.
Too much other shit to do.
Yes, hell yeah.
Danny
Wow.
Sanchez, welcome.
Yes,
Good to
welcome
see
to
you.
Danny Sanchez vlog.
So you guys, I love you all. We need to. Who's got the best dad joke? Let's do this. Who's got the best dad joke?
I would say Craig. He has all the jokes.
We got all kinds of
Waka
jokes.
waka.
Waka waka. Oh man. Why are lobsters so greedy?
How's
I don't
that?
know why.
Why?
Because they're shellfish.
No, right. And that's like, yeah, why
That's a
are the
dad joke,
Amish
dude.
girls so happy, right? 2 Mennonite.
Why are
I don't think that's a dad joke. I don't think that's a dad joke.
why are spiders so smart?
Why is that?
They can find everything on the web.
Why does the
Love
ocean
it.
roar?
Why does it roar?
You would too if you had crabs on your bottom.
So my kids actually laughed at this one. They found this one the other day, and I was like, "Man, talk about taking it old school." I remember hearing this as a kid. How do you drown a blonde?
Give her a cup of water.
I remember this. Can I
You
answer?
put a
I can't
you
remember.
put a scratch and sniff sticker on the bottom of the pool.
Yo, I couldn't remember.
That's mean.
Hey,
How can you
here's
tell?
what-
How can you tell when a blonde's having a bad day?
I can't remember any of these blind jokes, man. But they're definitely old school.
When there's a tampon behind her ear and she can't find her pencil.
Oh. Yeah, you know how I know them? They used to say them about us Polacks all the time, and they just changed the terms of the joke.
You know how you stop the Polish cavalry, right?
Oh, I used to know this. Fuck.
You turn off the carousel.
How about this one? There's 5 cats in a room. They're all playing poker, but one gets kicked out. Why? They found out he was a cheetah.
You should see the look on Craig's face. Like he's like, if a joke isn't dirty, is it really a joke?
Is it really?
I only got dad jokes, bro.
Is this like Laffy Taffy level jokes, or can you like throw in a tampon on the behind? Where do we stop? Where's the line,
Craig?
Oh, well, hey, what's that?
We should leave the jokes for Cabana's show.
There you go. Fair enough. I appreciate you guys. Love you all. And with that, outro.